Yo, 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 what's going on? It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shh. It's early, so that's why with the time change and everything else, it's still dark. But anyway, man, so many things people want me to comment on, and one of the things that have come up is Robert Lee from Bully Market had made, I guess, a post, or I don't know if it was a video or what, but several people have talked about, I guess, the validity of you as a breeder if you're not doing, if you're not aiming to get your dogs into pet homes. And surprisingly, I'll tell you the truth, I mean, not surprisingly like I have a problem with Rob, but I'm just saying surprisingly, a lot of people thought that I would disagree with him. And I actually agree with him wholeheartedly, you know, to a certain extent. I don't think it's horrible if you sell your dogs to breeders. It's going to happen, you know what I mean? D-Line wouldn't be D-Line, Hall of Fame blood wouldn't be Hall of Fame blood if we hadn't sold dogs to people who planned on breeding. But ultimately, every dog is not a show quality dog. Everyone is not a breeder. So one of the biggest issues in the American bully community right now is far too many dogs. And it's not just far too many dogs. In one sense, it's just far too many breeders, you know. Excuse me. You have so many of these guys who get a dog, and the first thing they do is they think they're a breeder, you know. They put two dogs together immediately, you know, I want $4,500 for this dog. I want $5,000 for this dog. And I've said this a million times. When you have these breeders, or whatever you want to call them, so-called breeders, I think one of the funniest things is that they can't even explain to you the breeding. They can't explain to you the breeding process. They can't explain to you any of the qualities of the dogs. They can't explain to you the histories behind the pedigrees. If you ask them about the personality traits, the heights, the weights, the head sizes of most of the dogs on the pedigree, they can't tell you anything. The only thing that they can tell you is that they want $4,500 for a puppy. And most times they'll tell you how great of an investment it is, and if you invest in this, you know, you buy your, you know, and the price ranges change, you know, because you can invest, you know, anywhere from $4,500 to you know, 500,000, you know, and a dog, and you know, the puppies are immediately supposed to sell for that price, and the stud fees are going to be skyrocketing, and you're going to get your money back. And it's always bad when we do this, because it's not sneakers, you know what I mean? Like I sell gym shoes sometimes. It doesn't matter. The thing of it is if I don't want to sell them, they appreciate in value, literally. Like, you know, I've got shoes that I've had for 5-6 years, you know, and now they're worth 4 times as much as they were. The dog game isn't the same way. Generally what happens with puppies is, as puppies get older, the thing about them is that they tend to, let's just say, not be as easy to sell, you know. And what happens in this thing is that you'll have a lot of breeders who get stuck with litters, and then we have the big problem of them throwing them off to any and everybody, trying to run the same scam, basically, to say that you're going to be able to sell more dogs, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and more of these puppies get made, and you know, or into bad homes, or into the shelters and different things. And I'm just here to tell you, like, realistically, that most of these dogs are not selling for the prices that people believe they are. You know, it's a sad thing that people believe that these dogs are going to make like this huge, you know, life for them, and then they find out that it's a lot of work, and it starts taking more money than they thought. And the reality is that people are not trying to buy dogs from any and everybody. And and I'm just being realistic with you, the way that the dog world works. 90% of the people who are like want to do it, they go to the source. So if you buying puppies from someone and they're promising you that you're going to be the next big breeder, more than likely they're going to follow that trail back to where you got the dogs from, and they're going to be like, well, what's up? He got dogs off of you, and I talked to him about a puppy. I hear it a million times. You know, can you tell me about this, or can you tell me about that, or can you tell me about this? More so, I think a big part of this equation is that, you know, how many homes is it for American bullies? How many homes are willing to spend top dollar for these dogs? You know, it gets to be a point now to where, you know, in order to really stop this breed from going all the way to shit, we have to get to a point where we really have to go with more pet homes, more people who just want to love the dogs. You know, as y'all see, that game that I was just describing is so confusing because you have all of these different angles and all of these different ways that the dogs could end up in bad situations. But it has to be something to where we get to the point to where we are agreeing that we need to get our dogs into homes that they're just going to be loved. If you look at a large portion of my dogs, people always say like, hey, you want to go dog for dog. You know, that's when they'll talk their shit. And then I start pulling out pictures of dogs and they're like, well, where the hell did you get that from? You didn't produce that. The thing is that I won't say 90% of my dogs go to pet homes, but the majority of my dogs do go to pet homes. They do go to homes where they're just loved. They live their life. They live good lives. They do, you know, they do the pet thing. And it's a great thing because one of the things, and y'all probably heard me talk about this before, one of my greatest prides that I take is that my dogs are not constantly resold. You don't see like all these posts, I got a Denzel son for sale, I got a Mandela kid for sale, I got, you know, this off a Hall of Famer, that all of, you just don't see that happen very often, where a lot of times, you know, especially when Denzel was living, I would get more calls on people looking for his kids as adults and wanting to buy them, but no one was trying to sell because they were pets. A lot of them were fixed. The ones that weren't fixed, they were still pets and no one wanted to get rid of them. And so, you know, in closing, I know I went all around the world, but that's a thing of pride. And I think if you are a breeder, you should take more pride in selling to pet homes and people who want the dogs fixed and just want to have a good, you know, a good pet. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be every single one. We got to keep the breed alive somehow, but you know, it is a big deal to have more dogs go to pet homes because right now, as they call it, the market is oversaturated. And the problem with an oversaturated market is the dogs end up getting thrown out on the streets, like some breeders do, literally taking the dogs for a car ride and pushing them out the damn car, or they turn them into the Humane Society, or, you know what I mean? It's just so many other bad options. We don't need that. Our community is damaged enough. Poor dogs are getting abused enough. We need to get them into loving homes and breed more occasionally and not just as a mandatory thing to pay for your Escalade. But until next time, y'all, God bless y'all. Much love. Peace.